Hi, my name is Nawara Blue. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I am currently a field producer for Animal Planet's hopefully to be #1 show, The Vet Life. It features my brother, Dr. Nawara Blue, as well as his 2 business partners. They are veterinarians out in Houston, where they own and operate an animal hospital called Cypher Animal Hospital. I was blessed enough to be able to pitch that show to a fellow director and a producer who I worked with on Pawn Stars, where I produced that, and it got picked up from Animal Planet, and here I am today. Honestly, it was something that was chosen for me. Like, it was a gift from God, because if it was up to me, like, I would have been in public relations. I went to Wayne State University right here in Detroit, Michigan. Right after I graduated from high school, I was there 4 years, and you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be a publicist. I thought that I used to watch Sex and the City, so I thought I was going to be Samantha. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find an artist. I'm going to find a musical artist from Detroit, and I'm going to make him grow, and I'm going to do all these things for him. And then I moved to Vegas shortly after, where my brother ended up living, because I had an internship, and I worked at a PR firm, and I hated it. It was horrible. Long story short, the PR firm that I worked for represented the Pawn Stars. The Pawn Stars was the #1 show on cable of all time for a very long time, and it was on History Channel. I had the opportunity to be a PA from them, which is a production assistant, and honestly, everything about production was everything that I loved about public relations, minus everything I hated. From the writing, because when you're in PR, you have to do media releases and press releases and all of these things, and it's very tedious. Sometimes you're behind a desk, and I'm not a behind a desk type of girl. And so when I got into production, it was very hands-on. When you are writing, you're writing scripts. It's a different type of writing, and it intrigued me. And not only that, I was good at it, and I felt home. And so before I knew it, I went from production assistant to associate producer and coordinating within a year. And from what I'm told, that doesn't happen, especially if you don't have any type of TV experience at all. And so it kind of just progressed from there. I ended up just doing a lot of field producing. The director that I work with, he was very hands-on with me, so he allowed me to direct scenes. And I actually had the opportunity, we had a huge episode at Mount Rushmore, and our executive producer as well as our director at the time, flights got canceled or delayed, so I had to direct the whole segment by myself. And I just got promoted to like associate producer, and it was crazy. And we landed at 10 p.m. at night. We had to be at Mount Rushmore at 5 a.m. in the morning, so I literally had 2 hours to prep for the scene, make sure we had light, make sure we did everything. And I was doing it by myself, along with my camera guy that I had at the time, and my sound guy who knew me. And from that day on, I was like, if this ain't what I'm supposed to do, then I don't know what is, because it clicked. And from then on, I worked on different projects. I worked on Dancing with the Stars. I did a few PA gigs and associate producer gigs from So You Think You Can Dance. I was coordinator for The Real World season 31, and just other little gigs. I produced a few EPKs for Warner Brothers Consumer Products, and before I knew it, it just was in me. And like I said, I pitched this show because I saw my brother, I saw what he was doing. I knew that it was different. I've never seen a black veterinarian. I've never seen anything like this. And I pitched it, and it just kind of became what it was. And when I pitched it, I didn't even think it would be what it is. I mean, ultimately, creativity is something that I think you have to be blessed with, like, honestly. And so I think with any gift that anybody has, I feel like at some level it needs to be ingrained with you. So if I want to be a singer, I need to have some talent of to be able to sing, you know what I mean? Like, and so ultimately I think it is a God-given gift regardless of what you're doing. For me, I'm not the person who pick up, the camera and social media and do all of these editing things. I am more of an administrative person, and I'm a director. Like, I'm able to see what I need to see and convey it to a particular person and have them get what the emotions that I'm trying to invoke. But again, I'm not a camera person. And so, ultimately, I think it's hard work, and I know that sounds crazy, but for me, I'm willing to do the work. Like, when I moved to Vegas and I interned for 6 months, no pay. I could barely make it sometimes to my internship, but I found a way to get there. And then it ended up paying off. So I do definitely believe in paying your dues. I don't think that things should be owed to you. Starting off as a PA, anybody who is ever a production assistant, literally it's a glorified intern. So you doing grunt work. You can't complain about it. You're making no money at all, but you learn it. And my biggest thing was just learn through the process. If I'm in an internship, I'm trying to learn what the PA doing. If I'm a PA, I'm trying to learn what the AC, which is assistant cam. If I'm assistant cam, I'm trying to learn what camera's learning. If I'm camera, I'm trying to learn what the DP is learning, which is director of photography. If I'm director of photography, I'm trying to learn what the producer is doing. So always try to figure out what your next step is. Learn what everybody else is doing. And so when somebody falls short, when somebody is not there, like in my situation, when they just couldn't be there, nobody else could do it but me. And so I think it's always smart to just put yourself in the position to know everything about everybody else's job, but ultimately do your job great. My biggest pet peeve in this industry is when someone is working in their job and they got something to say about everybody else, everybody's position, but you not even getting coffee. And that's your one job. You had one job to do, like that meme says, get coffee, and you're not doing it. And so to answer the question, I definitely think it would be something that is ingrained in you. Go with your natural passions, go with something that you love and something that you can do. But also be willing to work hard for that thing, because it doesn't come at you. Real talk, I was unemployed before this show popped off. I was unemployed for almost a year last year. In Vegas by myself. All my family had moved out, and I'm like, is this TV thing for me? Because you have gigs, and anybody who works in this industry, you may be living large for like a good 5 months, and then you're off and you don't have no money, and you're like, you went from making this much a week to now you have nothing. And so, but it's something that you're gonna have to work for, and you wanna be hungry so you can get that next gig.
If you had to rename Woodward after one Detroiter, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh, Kari, that is hard. Rename Woodward. Why would you have to rename Woodward? Woodward means a lot to me. So I'll be everything in Woodward. After one Detroiter. Do they have to be famous?
No.
Honestly, I hope this doesn't sound narcissistic, but if I had to rename Woodward, I would rename it Blue. Because not only because it's my last name, but it was my grandfather's name. He is the reason why my entire family is in Detroit. He's the reason why our name is Blue. He's the reason why we're here. And from him making that choice to be here, my family has done amazing things because of this man, and in the city of Detroit, and then we've been able to go to other places. So I would rename Woodward Blue after my granddad.
Okay, where did your granddad move from?
He moved from Alabama. And in order to work in the train systems here, you either had to have somebody that you were related to or in close relationship with. So he actually had to change his name in order to even work here in Detroit. So he went from Rice to Blue. And there's the story.
How do people respond when they find out you're from Detroit?
I get a lot of reactions. People are ignorant. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, so how was that? I don't know what that means, or, depending on who you're talking to, like, so did you ever get mugged? Depending on who you're talking to. But realistically, those who, when they say I'm from Detroit, I feel like it gives me an edge. And I feel like they understand why I am how I am, because the city made me, even though I was raised here and I was born here, and then my mother got remarried and I moved to Holly, Michigan, and I went to high school in Holly, but I came right back after high school, and I spent college here. And it's so much a part of me. Like, regardless of what city I'm in, I'm always wearing Detroit stuff. Whether it's my fitted hat, whether it's a Detroit business, whatever it is, I'm always doing that, and I'm repping it because I'm proud to be from here. Not to say that people don't make it out of here, but it's because people do make it out of here. And we got so much stuff here. And it's not even about, and I want to take that back, it's not even about making it out of here. It's we thrive here, we build here, we are here. Like, Detroit is everything. And I'm very proud when I get to say where I'm from, but I think it makes sense to people. Like, the terms clicking, like, she has to be from Detroit almost. It's like, where are you from? you gotta be from Detroit just because your aura, your presence. It's like there's a confidence I feel like people from Detroit have. There's a know-how that we have, but also there's a work ethic that I think people from Detroit have, because it's like, wasn't nothing handed to you, so you had to make it happen. What is next? For the first time, honestly, in my life, I'm in a place where it's not that I don't know, but I'm content in where I am. Meaning, I never thought that something from my brain I would be able to see on TV or in this capacity. And I feel like this show is going to be huge. So I guess my next step is that hopefully the vet life ends up getting picked up for multiple seasons, and maybe I will go on from field producer to eventually executive producer or showrunner for that series. I think that would probably be the next step, but you never know. I may have a dream about another show. Like, honestly, it's crazy because when you see something come to fruition, your brain says, dang, what else can I do? So now it's like, wait a minute, if they like this idea, I got a couple of these in the back, because that was idea number 3. I still got idea number 2, and I got idea number 1. So it's a confidence booster, and it makes me think that whatever is next, that I'm able to do it. But honestly, right now, I'm more content, and I'm excited to see the ride of where this journey is going to take me.